The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Studio 6 Entertainment, Armed Media, or the Entertainment Partners LLC. Enjoy the show.
Hello once again. It's Afternoon Bytes. I'm your host, Tattoorick, and we've got an interesting show for you today. We're going to talk about tattoos to zombies. I'm not sure exactly where we're going to start off, but I do know we're going to start. We're going to start with something. I do have a walk-in guest. We have the incredible Tara Long back with us again. Can you say hi?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well, and how have you been?
Oh, pretty good.
I want to thank you again for coming a couple weeks ago. It was one of the best shows that we've had. I think it has to do with you and your wonderful talking voice.
Yeah, you're so full of it.
I'm full of something. Anyway, I guess we're just going to dive right in. We're going to dive right into it. Some of the things that we're going to try to cover. The first thing is we've got these new Army guidelines that were dropped, I believe, the beginning of the week, last week anyway. It's interesting. They're trying to stop people from not just getting tattoos, but the individuals that actually have tattoos already in areas like on their neck, their hands, or any place that's noticeable, visible. They're telling them that they're not going to be able to do officers. So that means that they're stopping them from being able to move up in ranking.
Well, I don't think they're stopping them. They're just going to be, well, they are kind of saying you're going to be hindered in some way. So, yeah, you're going to be stopped from being an officer, but it hasn't gone into effect yet. Basically, you can't have any tattoos, new tattoos is what they're saying. So if you already have the tattoos, you're kind of grandfathered in, is what it is. But here's the thing with that. This is what's so funny. They're going to have all these guidelines. It says new restrictions on there's going to be restrictions on your career. So as an enlisted, I go up in the ranks as an enlisted, and then when I want to become an officer, they're going to you have a ring tattoo. You can't go any further than that because of that ring tattoo. Because you got that after the rules were changed. But if you got it prior, and the thing is, they're making the commanders do a check on these soldiers. Now you're going to tell me you're going to every month or once a year or whatever. Here, come over here now. Strip down to what's visible. Let me check you for your new tattoos. Are you going to have detailed of, okay, on his hand he had the word love. Well, guess what? I'm going to color that in. Now you're going to watch me and make sure, or are they going to take pictures? That's my question. I think it's kind of, aren't we worried about other stuff besides getting tattoos?
Well, from what I've understood, when you join the military, you become their property. So are they looking after their interests? Because now they're controlling what each individual is able to do. Not to mention, the hairstyles. I don't know if you read further down in that. It also said that hairstyles are going to change.
Yeah, but that's already been in place as far as ponytails and whatnot. So they've always had certain above the ear and all that junk. But I don't agree with the whole, okay, once we're going to do a tattoo check, besides our shots, we're going to get our tattoos checked. I think it's ridiculous. I think we need to spend our time and our money different places. This is just an excess of government waste. Again, we're spending our time and we're paying for it as taxpayers. We're paying for this. This is stupid.
In my opinion, look at the Maori warriors. The reason why they were so feared is because they were covered in tattoos, and they scared the crap out of everybody else on the islands. So why not have our enlisted actually covered in tattoos when they go into battle? Quite frankly, I think it's just going to scare the crap out of everybody else.
Well, my theory on that, if we really went to war, we take everybody on death row that wants to really get off death row and stick them over there. But that's a completely different subject. Because don't we fear everybody with tattoos a lot of times? Most of the time we do. I mean, besides talking about the Army guidelines, We're what happened this weekend? We went to, it's Lent. It's fish fry time here in Omaha, Nebraska. So
The only time I'm religious.
and we're not real spiritual or religious, but during this time, we end up going to the different churches around Omaha. We have fish, coleslaw, potatoes, and beer.
Tomato soup,
Yeah.
grilled cheese. I mean, they had it all.
And it's a fun time if you haven't been, especially when they have the beer. We love the beer. But we went to, we won't name the church. We usually try to go to different churches. We went to the one church this weekend. Good time. Waited in line like everybody else. Had some kids with us.
Of course, ran into some clients, ran into some family members.
Not a huge deal. We went to sit down, and they have these huge tables that you sit at.
8 to 10 people can sit at these tables.
And normally when we sit down, there's only 4 of us. And the place is packed. So what happens? We take our jackets off. Not a big deal, because it's hot in there. Wearing a short sleeve shirt, must have scared everybody off, because nobody else would sit next to us.
And this isn't the first year this has happened. This is like 2 years running that we've taken over a table, sat down, and, you know, I bring hot sauces, I bring vinegar, I bring stuff to add to your fish, and normally you get people left and right. They're like, can I have some of that? Can I borrow some of that? What you got there? At this place, no, they don't even come over to us and talk to us. And I hate to say it, it's because of our outward appearance. We both have a lot of tattoos. And I think it's kind of screwy because we have 2 incredibly intelligent children that noticed this right off the bat.
And it's funny because they pointed out, that lady, we had a lady come over to the table. She didn't say anything to us. She sat there and stared at me. I just figured because I was really, my hair was a mess and it's kind of out of control. But no, she sat there and stared at us. But it was pretty comical. But the kids, they really go, they sit there, they'll look at the person, then they'll look at us, then they'll look at the person, and then they'll point it out. And then the person runs off, basically, because they're like staring at us. And the kid's just like, that person's staring at you. We always say, just talk back to them and say hi and see what happens.
Always smile. That's always tell my kids. Always smile, say hi, be friendly, be courteous.
And I know a lot of people say this when I even, at my full-time job, they're like, I'm used to the tattoos. I don't have a problem with the tattoos. There's a lot of people that do, and they haven't gotten past it. Have I gotten past it? You know what? I have ignored it. I normally do not pay attention. The only time it ever gets brought up to me is either my kids are pointing it out, or Rick's pointing it out, or somebody else in my family is pointing it out, saying, hey, that person's taking pictures. That's the worst thing. I hate when they take pictures of me and they try to be they have their iPhone, and they're positioning it just right, and they're trying to take pictures. Do you not think I noticed this? Do not take a picture of me.
Yeah, if you want to take a picture, ask, because you'll be told promptly no. They're not for you, they're for me, or they're for my family. That's a situation I just can't stand. I also can't stand when people come up and just grab you to look at your tattoo.
Yeah, and I think our family life is pretty normal as far as being in the tattoo industry, being tattoo artists, and that family life. They always think, I don't know what they think. What people think sometimes is, oh, Rick, you're a biker. You're a biker. You got all these tattoos, and you do have a beard, and you do have long hair, but he's a minivan guy.
Oh, yeah.
He drives a minivan.
I drive a minivan, stay-at-home dad. I'm part of the community, community outreach. I work with our city councilman, Gary Grenant. I mean, I do a lot that's not considered, I don't know, bad.
Yeah, they always look at different. In our family life, I work a full-time job with a telecommunications company. Hi, all that's listening. They're used to me. I know at first, I've been told this before, when they first kind of, just looked at me or didn't really know who I was, I look mean. Well, I look mean anyway. But I'm saying they looked at the tattoos, or maybe it was the hair. I always think it's the hair, because
She's got some pretty big hair.
I got some big hair and everything. But I pretty much think that I work for I say it's white collar, but other people at work might say it's blue collar job. But we work with the communications company, and we're pretty normal. It has nothing to do with tattoos or body art. I actually own a tattoo studio on the side.
Yep.
So it doesn't mix very well. But when I can go to the store, this is what's happened to me. I can wear my long sleeves. I cover everything up most of the time. I'll go to the store. This is what happened at one of the pharmacy stores. Is that what we want to call it? I went in after work. I had to pick some stuff up. They had a little security guard, little fake guard there. He said hi. I'm like, hi, blah, blah. Walked on, had to get some stuff. Not even 3 hours later, after I came home, I knew I forgot something, but I changed clothes, went back there. The same guy was there. He followed me in the store. And it just it irritated me.
Well, you had a big sign, tattoos on you. It shows that you're a bad person. You're going to shoplift. You're going to steal.
No, I think the greatest thing is when we go to this one store, and when we wear the short sleeves, because you look like a biker and you look like a bad dude, and I have a lot of tattoos, we will get followed in the store, and we know who the security people are. We start talking like we're going to steal stuff just to irritate them. The guy who won the store, the guy will be standing right there, and it's the same person over and over again. And I don't know what he hasn't caught on or what the situation is. He'll be right in the middle between Rick and I, and we'll sit there and talk about, oh, should we steal this? And the guy, he knows. He'll just walk off because now he's irritated because he knows that we know he's a security guard. So it's pretty fun. But as far as family life, and I'm going back to this Army guidelines, you're really affecting people's home life. Just because they got a tattoo or wanting to get even a tattoo of their deceased relative, you're going to stop them from getting that because that's something that's really close to their heart. Just because they might want it on maybe their hand or the inside of their arm. Because some people want that. They want to look at that and be remembered by that.
Well, I mean, let's talk about Hawaii right now. I mean, it's the same thing. I believe in, where was it? Honolulu.
Yep.
The police officers there, they're going through the same kind of regulations that the Army's basically going through, that there's not going to be any tattoos on the hand or the neck. Now, we're talking about Hawaii. We're talking about a culture that tattooing is in their blood. That's what they do to represent not only their family but their traditions and their background. And now the officers that actually have tattoos not only have to cover them up with long sleeves, we're talking about Honolulu where it's hot, long sleeves, but also have to put makeup on tattoos if they're showing on their hands or their neck or their face. So you're talking about an added expense.
No, I like the police chief's his quote. What did he say now? Something about improving
the department's image.
So we're going to have the police run around with makeup, and this is going to be improving their image.
Well, I don't think they mean like lipstick.
But I'm saying I'm a female officer. I have tattoos on my eyebrows, tattoo on my lips. Isn't that a tattoo?
It is, but of course that's not going to be considered a problem because it's women wear makeup. Guys don't wear colorful. Well, no, I take that back.
I know lots of guys that wear colorful
especially
stuff.
in Honolulu, Hawaii. I believe they meet you there with some really colorful shirts and
flowers. I don't agree with it. I think it's kind of one-sided. It's kind of sexist too because you're gearing, because that's tattoos. You have tattoos on your eye, eyeliner, eyebrows, and lipstick. So if a guy just happens to have a tattoo of something on his face, you're going to tell him to wear makeup all the time. When it's hot, it's going to sweat. So the makeup's going to drip off. So then you're going to see these cops. They're going to be in the car with their compacts, putting makeup on to make sure it's all, did it come off? Hey, Steve, can you see my tattoo on my face? Does it look okay?
So again, you're talking about taking away from their perception about what's actually going on and being more worried and concerned about how they look in the public's image.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, but that's starting in July, that policy for Honolulu. I can't even say Honolulu. Hawaii, that's starting in July. So they're pretty much, that's set in stone out there. So let's all go to Hawaii, make fun of all the cops in long sleeves.
And walk up to the officers and say, can I see your tattoos?
Yeah, because that's what it's going to come down to is if you see a cop in long sleeves out there, They have tattoos.
Oh, but wait a minute. I've got one more thing to talk about. When you go to these, what do you call it? These job fairs or these conventions where they have police officers or Army recruits